So yeah, this is all one lecture, but uh, it consists of like, or my podcast will consist of five, six, seven, eight 10-minute little bits, and together they form one lecture. They're coherent, or at least hopefully they're coherent. But I just think it's good to give students a break. You can listen to it all the way through if you want. You can stop and take a breather, walk around if you want. You can listen to it again, but this is the way I do the podcast. I do, like I say, a number of little shorter podcasts that equal, when I put them together in a playlist, equal one lecture. Okay, so I've talked about the readings, and like I say, let me repeat that the required readings are on reserve at the JPL. Some of the readings that I'm going to give to you, the Ries, the Pile, the Browning, a German field marshal instructs the Wehrmacht. It's a very short piece. Talks about the role of the German army in the mass killings. Now, Life magazine's a little bit different. Life magazine was a very popular magazine in the 1940s. Actually, when I was a kid, it was very popular. And when I say popular, it was in millions and millions of households. It was big. It was kind of oversized. This is a period where it's just radio and magazines. And Life magazine's on Google. You can find the entire run on Google, so it's for free. And I'm going to ask you to take a look at it later in the semester around spring break, and do a short paper on what you find about the European theater, because I want you to do a little bit of primary evidence research. Very, very easy to access. I'm not going to explain exactly what the assignment is now because it's too much detail, but that's one of the readings to the semester. I'm asking you to watch two movies this semester. You can rent them. I think Casablanca may be streaming for free, but you can rent them for $3.99. Casablanca, the great Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman movie. What haven't you watched that because it really is about American isolationism and the U.S. Deciding to join the war. And then Au revoir les enfants, which my French is horrible. I apologize if you speak French. Uh, it's a movie by, I think it's Louis Malle, and it takes place in France, and he goes to school with a young Jewish kid who's in hiding from the Nazis, and it's something that actually happened to him when he was a young man in France. Very powerful movie. You'll watch that outside of class, and then we'll talk about it in class. Inclusivity statement, which you can read on your own. I want to talk about grading. I know that's for students, a very important part of any syllabus. So you'll be quizzed weekly. The reason I give you quizzes is that I just don't think students do the reading unless they're quizzed. I know I never did the reading unless I was quizzed. Now, some students will do the reading, but a lot won't. And so your quiz weekly, the quizzes aren't insanely hard, but I just want to make sure, keep everybody honest. And one of the reasons I do this, I want to reserve as much of Thursdays as I can for class discussion. I think it's kind of boring to sit and just lecture at you the one day of the week that we meet, although I will do that sometimes if I feel like I need to fill in some information. So you're quizzed every week, and I'll talk about how what you'll be quizzed on as we go through the schedule. So um, be aware of that. There's two take-home exams. There's one around the midterm time, and there's your final exam, where I quiz you, or I examine you, test you on the podcast, the other material I posted on Canvas, as well as the readings. Everybody's freaked out about Chat GPT these days, of course. Um, and one of the ways that I'm going to test you, I trust you, or I trust I guess I shouldn't be too naive, but I think the vast majority of the students I'm talking to for this class are quite honest. But the questions that I'm going to ask on these take homes are very, very specific to this course, to how I teach this course. And I'm not sure ChatGPT would have those answers, but maybe it might. It's supposed to be pretty smart. But anyway, I didn't design this course in order to undermine or get around ChatGPT, but it just works out this way. So two take-home exams, they're worth 60% of the final grade. And then that short paper I talked about, the primary evidence, where you take a look at some articles from Life magazine and write about them, that's 10% of the grade. Okay, so 30% the quizzes, the two take-home exams, and the short paper, the evidence that you'll look at from Life magazine, which again is extremely accessible, very easy to access. I'm going to drop your lowest quiz grade. Everybody has a bad week. Everybody gets overwhelmed. So be aware of that. I'm going to drop your lowest quiz grade. I won't accept late papers. It's not fair to other students. Now, I might as well just say here, if life starts crushing you and things just get crazy for you and uh, uh, just go nuts and you're struggling with the course, please reach out to me. I'm more than willing to help you, but I can't help you if I don't know what's going on with you. So, and I'm not going to pry. I'm not going to, ask personal questions. I'm not going to look for a diagnosis if you're not feeling well, or anything like that. Just keep in touch with me. Let me help you. I'm not here to undermine your grade. I'm here to get you through and to teach you. And so if you start struggling, you start missing quizzes, this, that, and the other, just reach out to me. Okay. Uh, Here are the UTSA resources, the history department resource, how you can access the history department, the department chair. Dr. Gonzalez, Gabriela Gonzalez, is our undergraduate advisor of record. You can reach out to her if you have questions about courses. The staff of the Arts and Humanities Advising Unit, which is something the college has just implemented, can assist you in selecting courses. So reach out to these resources that are available to you. And you know what? If people aren't responsive, just get in touch with me and I'll get in touch with them and I'll make sure that they be responsive. Um, I wanted to really I stress the counseling services, um, which I do in all my lectures. UTSA has a counseling program. It's one of the things you pay for as part of your fees. And a lot of students struggle. You'd be surprised. I think something over 1,000 students, undergrads a year nationally, commit suicide. It's shocking. It's a shocking figure, really. And anyway, it's horrible. And I just wanted to stop at this section of the lecture and just to stress to you, if you're struggling, if something goes on, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feeling like you might hurt yourself, I did post the link. UTSA does have counseling services available to students. It's very private. There's actually a private entrance. It's over where the wellness center is, which in the old days we used to call it a gym. Now we call it a wellness center. On the main campus, there's one on the downtown campus as well. I instead of putting down all the information, I put down the link. There's a 24/7 suicide access line. I don't want to stress that, but there's other forms of counseling as well. If you're struggling, if life has just gotten too much for you, which definitely happens at times. And the reason I want to stress it is just not for the students in this class alone, but if you know students, if you know peers that are struggling, please let them know about these services. It's really important, and it's a genuine issue. And there are programs on campus that are designed, there are counseling programs on campus designed to help students that are struggling emotionally and mentally. So you may be fine. I hope you're fine. But you may know someone who's not fine. So just be aware of this, not only as you go through this class, but as you go through UTSA. As I say, it's one of the things that you pay for at UTSA. Don't cheat. And what I say to students, this is the easiest time in ever to cheat for students, but it's also the easiest time ever to catch students cheating as well. So the way I've designed the course, maybe I'm being naive, but it's designed in such a way that it's very, very difficult to cheat or to plagiarize. The Thomas Rivera Center is a pretty good center that helps students with their writing. Also, Brianna, let me remind you that Brianna Lopez is here. She's here to help you with your writing, with your reading comprehension. She's has office hours, as I've talked about earlier in this lecture. She can also meet with you in person. She can meet with you on Zoom. Use her as a resource. She's very smart. She's very warm. She's very, very talented. So use her as well. And there's the academic code. Okay, now we're into course schedule, and I'm going to stop this little portion of the lecture and go over the course schedule.